You're listening to the Retina UK Talking Tech Peer Support Group, sponsored by EMVI, your visual AI assistant for Android and iOS. This meeting was recorded on Tuesday, the 15th of July, 2025.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Talking Tech Peer Support Group meeting from Retina UK. My name is Mark Baxter. Thank you all for joining us this evening. I would like to share with you an amazing presentation this evening. We have the amazing Sam Seavey, who is the visionary behind the YouTube channel the Blind Life, and he has joined us all the way from the USA to share his sight loss journey living with Stargardt's and also the visionary behind the Blind Life, why he set it up, and also some technology that he has been privileged to get hands on with through some expos that he has visited throughout 2025, and he will give us a lowdown on all the tech that he is looking forward to over the next sort of 12 to 18 months. So thank you very, very much, Sam, for joining us this evening. We really do appreciate your time. And without further ado, over to you, Sam Seavey from The Blind Life. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Mark. I should have asked, how much time do you think I have to talk? I want to leave time for questions and answers.
25 minutes,
All right,
15,
perfect.
20 minutes. Yeah, just far away.
I'll do it my best because I do talk. I do tend to ramble, but no, but thank you so much again. And thank you everybody for having me. I'm going to talk a little bit about this, but I have a retinal condition as well. So anything having to do with retinal organizations, helping people with retinal conditions, I'm super excited to be a part of. So my name is Sam. My retinal condition, we'll jump right into it, is called Stargardt's disease. I don't know if there's any Star Guardians here on the call. If you are, that's awesome. Congratulations on being a Star Guardian like myself. But I was diagnosed at age 11, which was right around 1986. So that if you do the math quickly, you'll guess how old I am. Um, I was very, I don't know if you could say it lucky, but my progression of Stargardt's has been kind of slow. So if you're not familiar, Stargardt's is a juvenile form of macular degeneration. And although lots of different things can cause macular degeneration, Stargardt's is a mutation in the gene where my body, for some reason, randomly, cannot process vitamin A very well. And so that causes a buildup of waste product on my retina, on my macula, causing the degeneration. So it's a slow, progressive condition. We lose our central vision, we retain our peripheral vision, but because we don't have that central vision, we lose our detail vision, we lose our night vision, we lose our ability to really see colors very well, and all of that. But my current acuity, which may not exactly apply to you guys because I think you do it a little differently there in the UK, but here in the US, anyways, my current acuity is 2400 in my left eye, 2800 in my right eye. So well past the legal blindness limit here in the US. I reached that in my early teens, so I was never able to officially drive. I tell people all the time, I try to convince people that I'm a really good driver, but nobody ever lets me drive their cars. So I don't get the opportunity to very often. But whenever I do, I love it. So I have, we'll fast forward, we'll skip. I don't have a lot of time. We'll skip through all the growing up, going through school as a low vision individual, dealing with voc rehab here in the US and getting assistance in school and all of that. It's kind of this typical story, bullying, struggling, that sort of thing. But where my vision story really takes the important turns is back in 2010. And this leads into my YouTube career. I got a job creating videos for a company based here in the US, based in Texas. And these videos were about Android systems. So Android phones, Android tablets, basically teaching people how to unlock the full potential of the Android phone and quote unquote hack them and all of that. A lot of fun stuff. So I did that for a couple of years, made videos for this channel, and that's really what got me started into YouTube or introduced into creating videos for YouTube. Um, However, during this time, I never shared that I was visually impaired with my viewers because it was about Android. It wasn't really about vision impairment. But every now and then I would do a video about like how to make your phone easier to see, how to increase the text size, how to increase the icons, how to put on a dark theme to make it easier, more contrast. And whenever I'd make those videos, I got a lot of positive feedback from the viewers who needed that information, low vision viewers. And so that really got me thinking that, well, maybe there might be a need for this on YouTube, information about assistive technology or accessibility or blindness in general. Um, so then around 2013, I decided to search for my vision impairment, Stargardt's, one day on YouTube, and there literally wasn't anything out there. I think there was one video about somebody who actually had Stargardt's, and then a couple of videos from doctors. But I was really interested in learning more about people living with it, and there was hardly anything. So I thought, you know what, I should just start my own channel. I've been making videos for this other channel for a while now. I know how to make videos for YouTube. I should start my own channel. And so I did. So December of 2013, I created The Blind Spot, which is what the channel was named at the time. And it was merely just a hobby. It was just something fun to do to keep me, pass the time, keep me occupied. And it was just a place where I wanted people to come and learn about living with vision loss and learn tips and tricks and share the things that I was doing after, 20, 30 years at that time living with vision loss. So over the years, though, it slowly started to grow and more people got interested in the channel. 6 years in, it changed. The name changed to The Blind Life. There's a story that that involves lawyers and all kinds of things with why I had to change the name. But I changed the name to The Blind Life, and I think it better reflects what the channel is actually about because I'm sharing my life, my blind life, living with vision loss. Um, in 2016, though, I started working as an assistive technology specialist at a nonprofit low vision center where I run the assistive technology program. And so I suddenly found myself surrounded by all kinds of amazing technology. And if you know anything about YouTube, YouTube is a machine and you have to feed the machine. So I'm always looking for content ideas, video ideas. And so I said, well, I've got all this amazing equipment near me or surrounding me. So I'll go ahead and make videos about that. And so that's really when the channel shifted to being about assistive technology primarily. And it's also, I enjoy it because it kind of goes back to my roots of starting talking about mobile technology. But over the years now, the channel has grown to it is one of the largest YouTube channels for the blind anywhere in the world, which is pretty awesome. And it is some people recognize it as the number one resource for information about assistive technology for the blind anywhere in the world, which is kind of crazy to think about. I currently have over 1,000 videos on my channel, literally over 1,000, which is insane. And I've tried just about every piece of assistive technology or adaptive equipment or adaptive software or mobile phone app out there. And I have created honest reviews about all of that stuff. As Mark said, I attend all the big conferences here in the US every year. I'm hoping to attend Site City in Germany next year, actually. Very excited about trying to make that happen. But I go to all of them here in the US. In fact, I just got back from the National Federation of the Blind's conference in New Orleans last night about 10 o'clock. And so I spent all last week at that conference, hanging out in the exhibit hall, checking out all the cool new stuff. And yeah, so I enjoy it, but it's more so that I can stay informed and then once again share that information with my audience because a lot of people don't have access to these conferences or a nice low vision center near them that where they can go and try out all these things. So they can watch my videos and learn about them as well. Um, Mark was wanting me to kind of talk about some cool new stuff out there in the world. Probably the most popular thing right now has got to be, at least here in the States, and I think it is there in the UK as well, is the Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses. I'm not sure, and you guys can let me know if you have gotten all the new features yet. I think you might maybe have or maybe have not. I'm not sure, but uh, the
Yes.
main functionality of the glasses obviously is the Meta AI, and that's how extremely helpful that is for us with vision loss. I always tell people AI, whether you're using it on an app like Be My AI or Seeing AI or ChatGPT, or you're using them in the glasses, or you're using it on the WeWalk cane, or wherever you're using it, AI is like having a personal assistant right there by your side at all times, ready to answer any questions or read anything or help you out with anything you need. It's truly become a game changer in our community over the last couple of years, and it's only getting better. Um, One of the cool things that I like to talk about, and I'm going to open it up to questions here in a minute, and happy to answer questions about anything. But one of the other cool things that I love to talk about is robots. Robots for the blind. This is a real thing, and it is coming sooner than we think. They are already testing out robot guide dogs. Here in the US, anyways, they've got them at all the different conferences. You can walk around the exhibit hall being pulled along by a little robot guide dog. And there's other companies that are making these even bigger and better. But the real, I think the next big innovation in assistive technology will be full scale bipedal robots. Um, Companies like Tesla, despite how crazy the main guy at Tesla is, at least here in the U.S., he's kind of lost his mind. Uh, they are doing some really incredible work. Tesla is, and one of those is developing bipedal robots that are geared towards healthcare. And so you can imagine having a robot that walks with you and goes wherever you need, and wherever you go, it goes with you and can lead you to the front door, take you inside, lead you to the counter. It can read the menu for you. It can remember your favorite Starbucks drink and can order for you. It can help you cross the street. It can vacuum your living room. It can wash your dishes. All of that. So those types of things are right around the corner. Literally, probably within the next 10 years, we may have robots for the blind, which is kind of crazy. And then, of course, driverless cars, and now they're making full-size flying vehicles like drones that people can ride in, and those are autonomous. So I can jump in my drone and tell it to say, "Hey, drone, take me to the mall or take me to the Starbucks." And I lift off and it takes me over there and lands me, and my robot and I can go in and grab a coffee. This is very real possibility in the very near future, which is kind of crazy. But that's a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm happy to open it up to questions. And if you guys have any questions, I'm an open book.
Yes. Does anyone have any questions for Sam? If you can put your hands up, if you can, so we can get sort of a bit of a queue going rather than you all jumping in together, that would be much appreciated. So, have we got any questions for Sam to start off with? You got anything? No? Well, I have got a question that was sent to us, Sam, from a member of community that unfortunately can't make it this evening. He has said he has gone out and bought a specific mobile phone for the visually impaired. I think it's called the Smart Vision 3.
Yes.
There's also another one that's called the
Blind shell.
yeah, that's the one, 3.
Yep.
And he said, what do you think around phones that are specifically made for the visually impaired? compared to your standard iPhone and your Android flagship devices from like Apple and Samsung, Google, etc. What are your thoughts? Would you lean towards the accessibility features of a standard phone, or would you prefer to go towards one that is geared more for the visually impaired, that has a screen but also has a full-on number or QWERTY keyboard?
Sure. Yeah, and that's a very common question. It's a great question. I am a big fan of devices that are built specifically for a task rather than devices that can do a lot of things and they can do that pretty well. They're not generally going to do it as well as something that was built specifically for that. With that being said, though, I where I work, I'm working with a lot of older generation losing vision later in life, and oftentimes this is going to be their first cell phone, the first mobile phone, and they don't need all the bells and whistles that a smartphone can give. I am a big fan of a smartphone. Like I said, I've got my Android right here. I've got my iPhone right here. Um, I think smartphones are amazing tools. They can do a lot of things that are super helpful for us. But at the end of the day, they are very complicated. And especially if you are brand new to a mobile operating system or if you're brand new to mobile accessibility, they can be difficult to learn. Swiping and double tapping and three fingers and two fingers and double tapping, triple tapping. It's a lot to learn. So for those that don't need all of that, they don't care about Facebook, they don't care about that sort of thing. They just need a way to stay connected with family and friends. I do generally recommend Blind Shell 3, Classic 3 is my number one recommendation because I think it offers the most bang for your buck, so to speak. Smart Vision 3 is fine. It's essentially an Android device that has the accessibility already turned on, and it has the full numeric keypad, the full button keypad. So it's great. It does offer the accessibility. It offers a little bit easier way to use it with that physical keypad, but you're still in Android, and you still need to kind of learn the Android system. You still need to kind of learn potentially how to navigate that touch screen. Blind Shell, you don't. Blind Shell is its own operating system. It does not have a touch screen. There is a way to turn it on, but most people are not going to use that touch screen. So it's a little bit easier to for someone who's brand new to pick up and use. So it really comes down to what the person's needs are and what the person's level of technology awareness is, whether they go with a smartphone or they go with one of these more accessible non-smartphone options.
Excellent. Thank you very, very much for that. Does anybody have any?
We have hands up.
We have hands up.
Yeah, we've got
Good.
John and Sharon. So I think John was first.
John, we'll go with John's question first, Sam.
Sure.
Hello, Sam. Thank you for a great presentation. Really interesting. There are other smart glasses coming out, such as the Echo Vision glasses.
Yes.
So I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on the pros and cons of how you think the Meta Ray-Bans stack up against other options.
Yes, yeah. So Echo Vision, they were at the conference I was at this past week. They are essentially look very similar to the Ray-Bans, and they are smart glasses that were developed specifically for the blind community. Now they are still in prototype phase. I still haven't seen a finished pair from them yet. They're still showing the prototype, so it's a little rough. I'm assuming they will get that all figured out, and the fit and the finish will be nice. But right now, it's still a little rough. They have an AI component. They can do scene recognition. They can do facial recognition to some degree. It's kind of like seeing AI, where if you program the person in, then it will say the person's name. That's John. But if it doesn't, it'll just say that's a middle-aged man who's looking happy, kind of thing. Just very similar to how seeing AI does it. And then they have a couple of other things where they will read text and that sort of thing. From my experience, now once again, I've only had a chance to demo the prototype at a conference where generally Wi-Fi is usually always terrible at conferences. So the experience has been a little rough with their glasses. The AI tends to be a little slow, and in some situations not too accurate. So I'm going to reserve a little bit of my criticism and my judgment until I can get my hands on a finished product. But at the same time, we know the pricing. The pricing is going to be more expensive than the Ray-Bans. We know that it's not going to have all the features that the Ray-Bans do, where you can connect it to your phone and you can listen to music from your phone. You can make phone calls through the glasses. You can do all of those types of things. It's not going to be able to do that, from what I understand. Um, the Ray-Bans are going to be integrated with other apps much better, like your navigational apps, some other AI apps. Right now, Be My Eyes is working on the Ray-Bans, at least here in the States. Once again, I'm not sure what's available in your area there. So as it is right now, the Ray-Bans can do a lot more. So the fact that they're less expensive, here in the US, we can even use some insurances to get vision insurance to get the glasses for free. So that's great. So it may not even cost the individual anything at all. So all of those different reasons, I'm still recommending the Ray-Bans over the Echo Vision glasses right now. We will see, though, when they finally get released. I think September. I'm going to be surprised if they're ready to go by September.
Okay, thank you. That's great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for your question, John. Sharon's got a question next.
Hi there, Sam. Thanks very much for joining us here in the UK. It's good to hear what's happening elsewhere. I have been a guide dog owner for 30 years, currently on the list, waiting for my 6th guide dog. Don't have one at the moment. And I'm just curious. I know of Glide that is due to launch, and I've seen I think it was an alpha prototype we've seen in Glasgow a couple of months ago, and they're due to launch in March. But I got the impression from your presentation there's more than just one. So I'm curious, what else is there in the US, and where is that looking? We did have a university in Scotland who were doing Robbie the robot, but I don't know where they've disappeared to, but they don't seem to exist anymore. And I'm just curious, how far on are other people in the US with robot type guide dogs? And also the other part to my question is just, you talked about robots for the blind. When you're saying that, are you thinking of something that looks the height of a person, or what are you thinking that's going to look like? So that's kind of my two-part to my question.
Sure. Well, firstly, I'll say in September, my wife and I are I'm going to Iceland to speak at a conference and or organization, and we are taking the opportunity to piggyback a Scotland trip. So I'm very excited to be coming to Glasgow.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
Edinburgh, and we're going to Stirling. We're doing the Highlands tour. We're doing everything. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
But you'll love it.
Yes, I'm sure I will. So there aren't any. Glide is the only one currently here in the US. There was a company, and I don't know if they are still developing. There was a company called Seamless Vision that had another type of robot guide dog, as they're being called. It really looked like a baby stroller or a baby buggy that you just kind of walked behind. Maybe smaller than that, smaller than like a lawnmower, but kind of a similar shape as a lawnmower that you just walked behind. And it had like multiple wheels, so it could go up and down stairs. It was really cool. I never saw that in person, but I saw a presentation about it once. There was a company, I think, in China that had something that was it kind of looked like a suitcase, like a rolling suitcase in front of you with this handle that came off the back, and you just kind of walked and it took you where you needed to go. But you're right. Here, the only one that I think is actively showing any product is Glide. And I keep seeing them at different conferences. They were at NFB last week, and I see it walking around. I did a demo of it at CSUN last year, the CSUN Assistive Technology Conference last year, and it was still pretty prototype phased. It was a little rough. It was very herky-jerky. It was moving all around, making a lot of noise, making a racket. And I'm an assistive technology tester, right? Reviewer. So I'm not going to go easy on this thing. I'm going to let it. I basically, like the song says, I let Jesus take the wheel, and I just pushed it and I let it take me wherever it wanted to take me. And it took me behind a couple booths a couple times. It took me uncomfortably close to people that were standing around. Um, so it's still clearly still needed a little bit of work, and I'm pretty sure the guy was controlling it with a an Xbox game controller when I was pushing it around. Yeah. But like I said, I've seen them at the last couple of conferences, and I watched them every time they came around just last week, and it seemed that the guy that was walking along with them doing the demonstration, he kept having to tell the people, okay, we're coming up to a group of people, so we're going to move it a little bit to the left. And in my opinion, that's not a good demonstration, because that's what the machine is supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it defeats the purpose.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So I don't know. I have my doubts about it. I also think, well, a lot of these companies have the motto, we're going to replace the guide dog, and that's kind of what they're going with, and that rubs me the wrong way a little bit right at the beginning. But I think of, how well is it going to do going, you go into a grocery store and there's the automatic doors and there's a little bit of a threshold, and how well is it going to roll over that? How well is it going to roll on gravel? Multiple different textured surfaces. It's not going to be able to go up and down stairs, so you're going to have to pick this thing up and carry it up and down stairs. It's not going to jump into the back of a cab or an Uber or a Lyft, so you have to carry it into that. So I have a lot of doubts about these types of things. And then to answer your second question, the robots that, like, companies like Tesla, there's another company like Honda or somebody's working on other robots. These are full-size bipedal, so they look like humans walking around next to you. And I think Tesla is making amazing improvements with theirs, and because they're using their neural AI engine for robots. And so you'll be able to talk to it like a regular person, and it's kind of like the ChatGPT voice where you can have a normal conversation with it and it responds to you. But it's got hands, it's got feet, it can move. I mean, there's videos of these things doing like yoga positions and dancing and all kinds of stuff. So it will be a full-size humanoid robot walking right next to you.
Right. Okay. Well, I'd never ever heard of that. That's actually that's very interesting and exciting as well.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. We've got Harry's got a question next.
Thank you very much, Sam. Excellent presentation, and very interesting to hear your background.
Thank you.
I was also quite interested to hear about Stargardt's, because I've known lots of people with it, and I suffer from something called retinitis pigmentosa, and there seem to be quite a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, Stargardt's and RP are kind of cousins. We're just opposites.
Yeah, indeed. The question that I wanted to ask you for your thoughts on were navigation. I'm a long white cane user. Never had a guide dog so far. And I'm retired from full-time employment and have been now for about 3 years. But navigation's been an issue, and it's always been the last, what do they say, the last X hundred meters or yards or whatever, however you want to, it's always difficult when you found the street. You've then got to find the front door of that building, which is always going to be the problem. And GPS is, unless you've got military grade GPS, which none of us have, it's a difficulty. And I wondered if you had any thoughts on that, and if things were improving to an extent where we might one day get something that is approaching that sort of level of accuracy and would give us, therefore, far more independence.
Sure. Yeah. So there's a couple of options that are just kind of pop up to mind. AI, that's one of the areas where AI could be very helpful, because once the taxi cab or the Lyft or the Uber drops you off and you're standing there in front of the building, you can ask your glasses, do you see a front door? And then, okay, how far away is it? What direction is it? Are there any obstacles in front of it? can you see a building's number, or am I in the right, use GPS, am I in the right location? All these kind of questions you can ask the AI, and the AI can take care of that for you. Here in the US, I don't know if it's available in the UK, but Humanware has a device called the Stellar Trek, and it's a navigational GPS device. But the latest version, which I think it might be the Trek 4 or 5, I forget exactly which one it is, but it has a new feature where kind of the same thing. You can use the camera and you just hold it up, and the camera will see, if it sees a doorway, it will, or a sign, a number above the door, it'll read that out to you, and it will tell you how far away the door is. And it'll beep, as you kind of pan back and forth, it'll beep indicating the direction. And so you just follow the beeping, and it'll lead you right up to the door.
Okay.
So there are things like that are kind of coming down the line. I know some GPS apps that were designed for the blind do work better with that true door to door. The WeWalk app, which WeWalk, the application used to be free. I don't think it's free anymore. If you buy the cane, it's free, but it's got a fantastic door to door navigational component to it, which I really enjoyed when I reviewed it. I thought it was one of the best that I tried.
Okay.
Yeah. So things like that, I think. And then of course your robot can walk you right up to that door.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We've got who's next?
Shivi.
Shivi. You've got Shivi's got a question.
All right.
Hi Sam, I'm calling from London. Great
Hello.
story. I'm recently brand new to this world. I've just been recently diagnosed, just like Harry, with a condition called retinitis pigmentosa,
Yep.
and I've also have Usher syndrome. My question is, you might have had it before. It could be a long shot, perhaps. Do you think there is, or would there be any tech that could perhaps help people see better in the dark? 'Cause that's what I have, like essentially for like night blindness. That's where my RP comes from.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, the reduced night vision is some of the first signs of a lot of different retinal conditions, mine included. I tell people, if you're experiencing any type of reduced low light vision, definitely go to the doctor, because it's an early sign. There's a lot of wearables out right now. There's like the Iris Vision wearable. There's the Patriot Viewpoint. There's a new one that uses an iPhone called a Maggie IVR. Once again, I apologize, but I'm not sure how available these are in the UK. But they all use cell phones and a VR style headset to do video magnification. And they work great for a lot of people with low vision, myself included. Whenever I put this on, I can zoom in, and they're a lot like binoculars, like wearing electronic binoculars. But you can also, so you can see things really far away, but you can also see things up super close. They work great for playing games, sitting down around a table and seeing your loved ones' faces across the table. Those things that we lose when we start to lose our vision. But because they're using the camera on the phone, they're great in low light. So a couple years ago, I went to New York for an event, and my family went as well, and we decided to go to the Natural History Museum in New York, very famous museum.
Mhm.
And we went into this room. I took the Iris Vision with me, which is one of these types of wearables. And we went into this one room, and it was a huge room. I could tell it was a big room just by the echoes and the people's voices, but I couldn't see a thing. It was so dark. And I could tell that there were exhibits all around the perimeter of the room, and it was this big open space. But yeah, couldn't see a thing. Couldn't even see my wife standing next to me. It was that dark for me. Then I put on the Iris Vision, and it was like somebody flipped the switch in the room and turned the lights on. It was incredible. I could see everybody around me. I could see, oh, there's the exit on the cross on the other side. I could see all the different exhibits all around me. I could kind of look up and see the architecture in the room. It was great. So those types of wearables, those are the best things that I've found for brightening up a dark area like that.
Sorry, just what was it? Irish Vision. What was it called? Sorry.
Yeah, there's a couple different ones. Iris Vision, like iris, like your eye, and vision. Uh, my personal favorite right now is called the Patriot Viewpoint, and then the one that those both use Samsung phones, but the one that uses an iPhone is called the Maggie IVR, and it stands for I like iPhone virtual reality. So Maggie IVR.
Thank you so
And
much, Sam.
yeah, I have a whole playlist on my YouTube channel for wearables where I've got videos on all of these things.
Excellent. Thanks very much. What we will be doing for everyone and for those that were unable to join us this evening, we will be sending out a follow-up email to everybody that's registered this evening with the link to our audio recording and also to Sam's YouTube page as well. So please subscribe to that. And also we'll just jot down everything that we've spoke about this evening as well. So we will have a look to see whether these particular devices are available within the UK and how best to get them and where to purchase them from as well. So
Colin's got a question.
Colin has got his hand up next.
Hi, I've played about with the night blindness for some time because obviously I'm the same as the last guy. I've got Usher syndrome, so deaf blind as well. I found I was quite amazed that my iPhone in the dark, I can see a lot through the iPhone, just putting on the camera mode. And then it got me to thinking, why could they not make glasses the same sort of setup? But it works with any camera. I mean, I can buy a £5 phone with a camera and it does the same thing. So it's not going to be that expensive to make, I would have thought. And then I was in a taxi and I was looking in the dark through the, what do you call them, the wee cameras that record everything.
Yeah.
And you can see the dash cam, and you can see brilliantly in the night with those. So I was going to try and get a small dash cam and fit it to my peak cap to see if that worked. But my problem really is night vision as well. So it's like I was playing with things. I can remember years ago, I asked a company, I can't remember what company it was, why they couldn't make something like that, like a night vision glasses. And they said we were the minority. But when you look at the realistic figure, I mean, every sort of eye condition, like you said, the early signs of night blindness.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really, a lot of it comes down to, well, that too, you know, the supply and demand. But also a lot of technology just isn't quite there yet to make those into a pair of glasses. I mean, they could, but they would be really big glasses like the wearables that we have right now.
Yeah, they're too big.
We just don't have the ability to make them into nice, streamlined, looks like a pair of sunglasses with little, you know, screens on the insides and cameras, and you got to put the battery somewhere. So what it is getting better and better every year. So I'm confident within the next 10 years or so, we'll probably have something like that just looks like a pair of sunglasses that we can click a button and all of a sudden everything just brightens up.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. We've had a message come in the comments from Rama. She's said, could you give an overview or a demonstration of the functionality of the Meta Ray-Ban glasses? Or do you have any videos which you can share with us where you give a full overview of what the Meta Ray-Bans can do? And we are quite fortunate, you mentioned earlier, Sam, that in April, a legislation was passed that we could now use Meta AI. And I think that put the dampers on a lot of people buying these particular smart glasses because we didn't have the Meta AI. But I have been doing some research and they are bringing out the Generation 3 later on this year that unfortunately will be a little bit more expensive, but then they will have a lot more technology, and they will be up against the Samsung XR smart glasses, which are also in development, which I think it's the headset that comes out in November, but then the smart glasses are not available until 2026. That's what we hear in the UK. Is that different in the US?
I don't know. I haven't kept up with the timeline for that. Um, but as far as what you're saying about all of that, that sounds about right as far as competing with them. And Google also has some smart glasses coming out that are going to be using Google Gemini AI, which looks very impressive as well. So and then of course Apple. Someday Apple will come out with their smart glasses that they've been promising for like the last 2 years. That hopefully will be nice, will be good as well. But well, I'm glad to hear you guys are getting that. That's awesome. So yes, I do have full reviews of the Meta AI and the Meta glasses with regards to visually impaired, like how helpful they are. We just here in the US, they just fully launched the Live AI, which is what that is if you're not familiar with it. So the way the Meta AI works is I give the wake command and then I ask a question. What does this say? What's that in front of me? What does that sign over there say? And it takes a picture and then processes very quickly, especially if you're on like Wi-Fi, and then comes back with a response. Now, it's generally a very simple, basic response. It's a summarized, like if I ask it to read a menu, it's going to summarize the menu and just give me the basic information first. I can then ask specific questions like what kind of quesadillas do they have, or what kind of desserts do they have, or do they have anything that's gluten-free? And then it will give me that specific information. I can also ask it in a slightly different way. I can say, read this menu start to finish, and then it will do that. It'll read from the top and just work its way down. We did just recently they just launched the more detailed responses option, at least here in the US. So you can turn that on, or you can tell your glasses that you're visually impaired and you want more detailed responses, and then it will give you more detailed information, more detailed responses. So instead of if I were to say what's in front of me, it's going to say there's a cabinet with a camera and a light, but there's actually a lot more over here in front of me than just that. So with the more detailed responses, it might go into more detail about some of the other things, or tell me what color the camera is, that sort of thing. So we just got that. Now, back in April, here in the States, they finally released the full version of Live AI, which Live AI is awesome. And I think it's going to be huge for us, because what that does is it actually turns on the video camera, and the glasses are constantly watching through the video camera, and you can just have a conversation with them. So you can say, what's that over there? And it'll answer. I say, what am I pointing at? How many fingers am I holding up? Whatever I want. And it doesn't need to take a picture because it's constantly looking. So it just naturally responds to you and answers your questions. It's much more conversational. So you can imagine that things like grocery shopping, you're walking down the aisle, where's the Fruit Loops? There's the Fruit Loops in front of you. How far away are the Fruit Loops? What does that sign say up there? What is this price? It's going to be much more interactive and a little bit easier to communicate with that Live AI. I'm going to use it when I travel quite a bit in the airports. It's going to be great.
Will you be doing a review on that?
I did a full video on the Live AI recently, within the last month or so. And once again, I have a playlist for the Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses. And I'm actually, I just did another video, I think 2 weeks ago, where I showed how you can just swap out your lenses. If you accidentally got the wrong kinds of lenses and you realize you should have got a different kind of lenses, they're super easy to pop in and out. So I made a review of that as well.
Excellent.
Actually, that was the question I was going to then ask as well. I went to Edinburgh last week to actually they had the sunglasses shop had a pair you could demonstrate or have a shot of. But
Mhm.
one of the things, I do wear glasses, and I do need to wear glasses to kind of keep my eyes from shaking. And that'd be something I'm interested in, putting my actual prescription in them. But I've not really read anything on that people have said they've put their prescription in them and how successful they are. I know I've got to go to the Ray-Ban shop in Glasgow to do that. But does anybody, are you been aware of anybody who's actually put their prescription in it, how successful? I'd be looking for clear lenses, not sunglasses.
Yeah. So I kind of similar situation. When I got mine, I got the sunglasses because I thought, oh, I'm going to be wearing these as sunglasses. That's what they are. But then I found that I wasn't using them inside because I don't wear sunglasses inside.
Yeah,
So I just bought a little, I think there's like $12 or $17 clear lenses on Amazon, and they just pop right in. I know a lot of people that have gotten prescriptions. I have heard some people say that if you have a really strong prescription, that these glasses will not accommodate those really thick prescriptions. So it depends on how strong your prescription is, whether it's going to work or not.
The Ray-Ban help desk, because I phoned the customer service to ask exactly that question.
Yeah.
Going on what she said, certainly, and I don't know if it's just the UK or whether it's worldwide, there was 3 different strengths, what I call standard, semi-thick, and then very thick, if you know what I mean. There was 3 different ones, and they went up in increments of, I think it was 40 or 80 pound. That's they certainly went up in increments. But I just wondered if anybody knew of anybody who'd actually got clear lenses that were prescription.
Yeah. Well, and as I mentioned, at least here in the US, and it may be the same over there, that some eyeglass manufacturers, places you can go get eyeglasses, they are selling these also. And once again, depending on what vision insurance you have, it may cover the purchase of the glasses and the purchase of the prescription to get in the glasses as well.
None of the Vision Express are the only opticians that I've found that are actually selling the glasses, but they're not putting the lenses in. It only seems to be Ray-Ban Direct that are actually doing it. And you can put your prescription into Ray-Ban online, but I'm thinking, get that wrong and you could have who knows what, and that's why I'd rather go to an actual Ray-Ban store.
Gotcha.
Excellent. Thanks very much for that, Sharon. Thanks, Sam. We've got one question from Keith.
I really thought the hand has gone up, really. It's a nice talk, Sam. Really interesting.
Thank you.
I'm always a bit worried about this lovely technology that's coming out. It's very exciting, but if you're wearing those glasses and somebody decides that they like them, they could just pluck them and walk down the road, and you couldn't catch them, could you?
Yeah, potentially not.
Can't help it.
And that's a genuine concern. I mean, especially if you travel to certain places, they always say don't stand or walk around with your phone in your hand because someone will just snatch it right out of your hand.
Yeah.
I don't know, obviously we would have a harder time chasing somebody down than the average person, but I think that's a concern for everybody. That kind of goes in hand with, I've heard people say, well, I don't want to use my cane out in public because I'm going to be perceived as a target, as a vulnerable target. And I don't subscribe to that. I don't agree with that. So I kind of think I'm in the camp of be smart about things, but don't let these types of concerns stop you from doing what you want to do.
I agree. Yeah, well done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks very much. Just keeping an eye on time. It's coming up to 8 p.m. BST, and I'd just like to thank you, everyone, for all your questions over to Sam, and thanks, Sam, for your time this evening. What an amazing talk, and you're such an inspiration, bringing all this technology online for us to view, review. We never know what we're out to get, what we want to buy. So having these resources of in-depth reviews and bench testing, really does help us decide what is right for us, what technology do we need, what type of smart glasses will be best for us. And it's just amazing. And that's why Retina UK and myself, we created the Talking Tech peer support group to bring that technology to the forefront so we can inform our community and let them share with each other about what technology is good for the visually impaired, especially for us that's living with inherited conditions. I myself are living with retinitis pigmentosa and have been since I was 9 years old. So, I know how valuable technology is to us and how it's going to shape not only our presence, but most definitely our futures as well. And for many of us, our pasts. So I really do appreciate your time. If you have got anything that you can share with us, including where we can find your channel, we want people to like it. We want people to subscribe to it so they can be kept up to date with all the new technology that you get hands on with. One piece of apps you mentioned, you like to bench test apps. We are very proud here at Retina UK to have our Talking Tech peer support group be sponsored by EMVI. It is your visual assistant, your visual AI assistant. It's a fantastic app. It is available for Android and iOS. So please feel free to download that. It is a free 2-week free trial, and then it's a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription, depending on what your preference is. But it's a great app for the visually impaired. So if you do get a chance to have a review and a play with that one, please do let us know what you think. And that's for our community as well. I'll put all details of where you can find the EMVI app, who are proudly sponsoring our tech group. So thank you. Excellent. Very, very much. And if you are in the UK, I know you're going to be having a busy time in Scotland in September, but it is our Retina UK annual conference in London on the 20th of September. So, if you've got a bit of time and you can get to London, then please come and join us in Regent's Park for a fantastic conference. We'd love to meet you in person and for you to have a little look around our exhibition stands of what we've got going on as well, and the speakers that we've got presenting at our conference.
Excellent. Thank you very much for letting me know. Yeah, I'll see if that'll work out or not.
Excellent. Does anybody have any final, if anyone does need any further information regarding our professional or annual conference, we will put in all full details into the follow-up email. And also, if anyone is joining us this evening that is between the ages of 18 and 30, we are helping to support either your travel or your accommodation if you're traveling far and wide. It's a part of our young adults project that we have funded to support young community that is living with progressive inherited sight loss. So for more information, please feel free to give me a call or just reply to the follow-up email, and I'll be more than happy to have a chat with you over the phone. If you are listening on our YouTube channel, please also subscribe to that as well. Please leave your feedback and your comments and hit the like button as well, so we can keep you up to date with more online content that comes from Retina UK, like our upcoming national peer support group at the end of the month, and also our Talking Travel peer support group, which is another group that is coming up in July as well. Full details are available on our website, which is retinauk.org.uk, and just navigate to our events page as well. All groups were in the the e-newsletter that went out last Wednesday. But if you are not receiving your e-newsletter, then please do get in touch with us to make sure that you're being kept up to date with all publications and information from Retina UK. So thank you very, very much. Do you got any last tips or hints before we get on with the rest of our evening, Sam, that we can all take away with us?
Just check out the YouTube channel. Like I said, I'm also on all the other social medias as well, including the Blind Life podcast. I've got a ton of videos, over 1,000 videos. So there's probably, if you have a question, chances are I've made a video talking about it. But that's about it. But I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Probably
Thank
a
you,
lot later
everybody.
there than it is here.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. And thanks to Caroline for supporting us this evening. Hi, I'm Mark Baxter. You are listening to the Talking Tech Peer Support Group sponsored by EMVI. We hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you all again soon for the next meeting. Take care, everyone, and have a pleasant evening.
Enjoy your evening, Caroline.
everyone.
Bye-bye. Thanks so
Bye.
much, Sam, for your time. Really do appreciate everything.
My pleasure.
You take care of yourself. Be in touch soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Everyone.
Take care, everybody. Enjoy your
Bye.
evening. Bye-bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this Retina UK peer group recording. If you have any questions or queries regarding its content, or you would like to leave us some feedback, then please do get in touch. You can contact us via our helpline on 0300 111 4000. Call the office team on 01280 821 334, or alternatively, you can contact us via email at services@retinauk.org.uk. If you would like to know more about our local peer groups, when your next meeting will be held, or if you wish to get involved in creating your own group, or would like to know more about our services that Retina UK provides, then please visit our information and support page on our website www.retinauk.org.uk and navigate to our local peer group page. Thanks again for listening. We hope to see you again soon. Take care and bye for now.